get it going. All right, all right, all right. Let's see. Yo, Dalton Shotwell, thanks for coming through, my guy. Thanks for coming through. I see you. We're about to get it. Get everybody going on in here. Okay, all right. So, before we kick it off, you gotta handle that legal disclaimer and drop that so we can get started and talk about some of these charts. Talk about the play that I dropped in the Discord that boomed off. Nice little 50% easy play. Big shout out to Q Ma Dukes who joined and liked the live. Thank you for the first likes. Salute to Q Ma Dukes. Okay, all right, so let's handle the disclaimer, then we can jump into the chart, we can jump into the play of the day, and we can keep it rolling. So, disclaimer/disclosure. Please note rolling. So, disclaimer/disclosure. Please note decisions. So now that decisions. So now that we're all on the same page, decisions. So now that we're all on the same page, yesterday. So if you were on my live yesterday, this was the exact same play and the exact same setup, which was super dope. We'll check it out in a moment. What I should say is fail, right? It rejected it. It bounced off the 50% to a degree. It kind of went down here on the 30-minute chart, right? But we had this strong bullish hammer. And after we had this bullish hammer formed on the 30-minute chart right here, I alerted to my team, to my community, that I was entering in calls on XLE. And as we can see, it ran on up. Now, today, I was super proud of this trade because one of the things that I really struggle with and that I need to improve upon is letting some of my winners run. Yo, Dribble God 1, thank you so much for the follow. So today, I bought 43 contracts. They were about $56 a piece on XLE calls. When the profit target was hit for my scalp, I sold 40 contracts and I let 3 run. Those 3 struggled a little bit, as you can see here on these pullbacks on these candles, but then XLE continued to run up to the day. It's looking like it wants to try to meet yesterday's high, but I don't think we're going to meet it today. We do have about an hour and 45 minutes left in the market being open. So big shout out to Walker Jackson. Thank you for coming through. Roy Tilto, Dijon Shin, Jack Dorsey, Johnny, thank y'all. Dribble God, again, thank you for the follow. Yo, Aaliyah, I see you. Who's all in here right now? Let's make sure. Buick Smith, I see you. Movie Bucket, Dijon Shin, Dr. JK Matinga, thank you for the follow. Albert Aguirre, thank you. So that was the play. That's the long and short of it. Anybody got any questions, anything like that you want to ask or that you want to check out? Thank y'all for coming through. So I'll recap it if you just now joined the live, right? This is ticker symbol XLE. This is the ETF that follows the energy stocks. We had a gap down from yesterday. We had this gap down from where the day started. This first 30-minute candle made a strong bullish hammer, and then we somewhat bounced off of the previous day's 50% level. This indicator is an indicator that I use every single day. So if you want to know about an indicator that I use every single day, I use the SSS 50% indicator. Now, with that being said, I alerted right in here that I was entering in calls to the team, and then we rode this up and made some profits. I actually got out pretty soon. I was in the trade no longer than 10 minutes, but you see, if you had a nice risk tolerance, reward ratio, risk to reward ratio, you were able to ride this up and go all the way up. But this is exactly what happened with Alibaba yesterday. So it's super dope to see your setup present itself easily back-to-back days. You take your setup, you take your trade, you make your money, you keep it pushing. Big shout out to y'all for the likes. I feel like the computer is just really running slow on your boy. Let me close a couple things, see if we can close some things and run it down. Yo, Sean Roberts, thank you for the follow, my guy. I appreciate that. All right, let's see here. Let's see. What else can I close? Ain't even much open right now. Ain't even much open. I'll close Excel. All right, so we'll take a look at Alibaba so you guys can see, but I'll show you in the Discord how I alerted this to the community. So you guys are getting a sneak peek just to show you where I dropped it out. All right, we got the trading chat room. Let's go take a look over there. We'll see what's happening with the folks. All right. So give it a moment, of course. Just things are just all out of whack here, man. Yo, thank all 19 of y'all. Brian, thank you for the follow. Yo, Margot, I see you. Thank you for coming through, Margot. Okay, let's see. So we'll scroll on up. All right, so here it was at the very beginning of the day. So just to let y'all know, I'm on the West Coast. I'm in California. And so if you see some of my timestamps, just keep that in mind on your trading. So for me, here in California, the market opens up at 6:30 a.m. So it was at 6:48, looking at the charts, where I alerted to my community to take a look at XLE. As y'all can see here, let me move this over. Boom, we had that, some of that bullish candle was first starting to form. And we have this order block right here. We have this buy order block. I also told them what contracts I was looking at. So one thing I like to do is also give a few different contracts to the community to show which ones I'm looking at. Fortunately, each one of these, the $96 calls, the $97 calls, and even the 97.50s, they all had a good amount of activity. They had open interest and volume. So that was a good sign. So I said I was looking at all those. Now, part of my strategy is to buy as close into the money as I possibly can afford. So I went ahead and scooped up some of these $96 calls. Yo, Joshua, thanks for the follow, bro. I see you. Big salute to Joshua. And then I told to the team at 7:02 a.m. that I'm in XLE calls. And just that fast, just within a few minutes, we saw that the profit target was hit. In 3 minutes, my profit target was hit. And so I went ahead and hopped out, but I let a few of my runners run. So like I said, I got 43 contracts. When my profit target was hit, I sold 40 of them. And then I let the other 3 runners run. That was a big step for me. I'm very, very kind of hesitant. It's out of my comfort zone to let contracts run, but I'm trying to do better at that. So today was a day that I was super proud of. As we can see, the little profits for the day. You can see here, this is where I got out of the trade in this zone here. We have people talking about we gonna be all right with my contracts. And then, of course, it continued to run up through the day. All right, 26910 Pop-Up Club. Thank you for the follow. Damian Lubecki wants to talk about Tesla puts. Tesla's earnings today is right. And then we got one of the community members in here who's super dope with penny trades. Super dope with penny trades in here in the community as well. So if that's something that you're interested in, we do have members in the community that get down with the penny trades. Yo, thank all of you guys for the likes. We're quickly approaching 300 likes, so I see y'all. Damien says, yes, Tesla after market closes. Now, I'm going to keep it real with you, Damien. I'm going to keep it a buck, 1,000%. I have had my hands burned to a crisp, to ashes, playing with earnings. Now, I will tell you this. My most profitable trade of all time has come from playing earnings. But every other time I've played earnings, I've gotten burned. Now, of course, this isn't to scare you at all. All I want to do is share my experience with new traders out there. So I'm going to tell you guys about 2 earnings plays that just happened this past week before we get into Tesla and talk about puts. So just rock with me for a moment, y'all. Just follow me for a moment. 2 earning plays just to tell the new traders, to give you a heads up, to let you know what to be aware of. I am not trying to scare you from earnings. I only want to share with you my experience, right? So, number one was Netflix of last week. I should show you in the Discord. Did a whole bunch of analyzing, rolled up my sleeves, did a whole bunch of research. I found web traffic websites that show month over month for like the last 3 to 6 months, Netflix website traffic increased. We also know that Netflix had a forecast that they were going to get about 4 million new subscribers. They ended up getting 9 million. And on top of those two things, Netflix also beat earnings and they beat their revenue. So everything was looking up. But as we already know, if you looked at Netflix, what happened when they reported earnings? The price tanked. It dropped $50 to $60 after the earnings came out. And you know why? The reason why Netflix tanked after earnings is because they said one thing in the earnings report. They said one thing that the market didn't like, which was that they are no longer going to report on how many new subscribers they get each quarter. That one thing completely ruined my earnings play for calls. I should have been up an easy $5,000 easy from the earnings play. Now let's fast forward. Let's talk about Pepsi, which was just yesterday going into today. Me and the community, we have been analyzing and looking at Pepsi for over a month. I even added contracts to a watch list. Everything went well for Pepsi. We did a market analysis. We see that they're overselling on everything. They're beating their competitors. Pepsi said one thing in their earnings this morning. They said one thing. They said, yo, we had a recall on some of our products. That made the stock tank. So all I want to do is give you fair warning. Even when you do enough research and you're exactly right about the earnings play, that they're going to beat their earnings, that they're going to beat revenue, all it takes is for that company to say one thing in their earnings report that'll completely make it tank. Now, with that being said, Damien wants to go take a look at Tesla puts, and let's do it. Let's do it together as a community. But before we get there, big shout out to Damien for that question, reminding me to talk to y'all about the earnings plays, especially if you're a new trader. J Top, thanks for the follow. LOL, hey, thank you for the follow. Yo, Solo, I see you. And of course, thank y'all for the likes. We're quickly getting to 500. After we hit 500, let's see if we could get 1K on the likes, y'all. All right, so we want to go take a look at Tesla. Let's take a look at Tesla. So if you're just joining the live, or if you've been listening to me about everything I've said with the earnings, give me a 1 in the chat. If you need me to repeat it really quickly, I can do that. But if you heard what I said about earnings, give me a 1 in the chat. Beckham, Pepsi's ticker symbol is PEP. That is Patty, Edward Patty. All right, we're taking a look at Tesla. Damien with the 1, Louise with the 1. Repeat, please. Shanice says repeat, please. So I got you, sis. I got you. So really quick, what I was saying about earnings, especially for the new traders, first and foremost, I'm not trying to scare anybody from playing earnings. If you're good at it, go ahead and play earnings. Like I said, my most profitable trade of all time and my entire trading career has come from playing earnings. But every other time after that, I've gotten burned. So before we get into Tesla, we've got about an hour and a half of the market being open. I'm going to just repeat really quick for Shanice and a couple of other people out there in the live right now. This is what happens with earnings, right? And this just happened with 2 plays just this past week. First, it was Netflix. Netflix, me in the community, me in the Discord, we did a lot of research. I found websites that confirmed that since November of 2023, Netflix's web traffic has gone up every single month. We also determined and saw that Netflix was going to beat their earnings per share and their revenue because they're establishing other markets in other countries. So the forecast was that Netflix was going to get 4 million new subscribers. They got 9 million. The forecast was that Netflix is going to come in at a certain level for revenue. They blew that out the water, relatively speaking. The forecast was that they were going to do well on their earnings per share, the EPS. They did good at that. So everything was in alignment that taking calls was going to be the right move because Netflix beat earnings. Netflix said one thing. They said one thing in their earnings report. They said, yo, going forward into the future, we're not going to tell y'all how many new subscribers we got. That one statement caused the stock to drop. Instead of it running up $50 to $60, it dropped $50 to $60. My entire earnings play was completely toppled and turned upside down because Netflix said one thing in their earnings report. So that's just a fair caution that you have to be extremely careful when playing earnings. As a matter of fact, the way that I've learned to really play earnings is based off of the momentum after the fact. So for instance, if the market reacts poorly to an earnings release or earnings report and it starts to have that momentum downward, go ahead and get in on the momentum downward. Or if the market reacts good and it starts to go upward, then go ahead and get in on that ride up. Try to avoid, at least for me, getting in preemptively or before the numbers are released, because you never know what these companies are going to say that'll completely topple earnings. The exact same thing just happened with Pepsi this morning. Me in the Discord community, we have been researching and talking about Netflix or Pepsi for the past month. I even have calls on my watch list that I added back in March. Let's close that. Pepsi said one thing this morning. Even though they beat earnings and they did well with everything else, they said one thing. Pepsi said, yo, we had to have a recall on some of our products. The market and the investors and the big players, they heard that and drove the price down. Even though they beat numbers everywhere else, they just said, hey, we got a recall. Some of our products got a little bit of problems, and these were recalls that happened months ago. Everybody already knows about this. That one statement in the earnings caused Pepsi to go down, even though they beat everything else. Anna James says, how much is the Discord? So Anna, the dope thing is the first 30 days is free, and then it's just $10 a month, and you get access to everything. You can book a one-on-one with me. We have weekly group discussions. We have all kind of content and videos. And the thing that I'm the most proud of that just makes me smile is I love to give back to the community. So every month we have a cash award giveaway. I like to do things to encourage people to long-term invest and build passive income. So each month I come up with a challenge for the community. I pick one person, whoever participates in the challenge, and then I send them a couple $100 via Cash App or Zelle. Big shout out to y'all. So thank you so much. Thanks everybody. That was for Shanice. Hopefully Shanice, you heard that. So we wanted to take a look at Tesla. They've got their earnings coming out today after the market closes. Let me kind of shift some of this around. I always like to show you guys evidence and proof too. So remind me in a moment. I can go back and show you where we talked about Netflix and Pepsi in the Discord. But as we can kind of see, let me just shrink this down. As we can kind of see, there we go. There it is. That way y'all can see it on TikTok. We've got the earnings report for Tesla is supposed to happen today. Now, based off of technical analysis, just off a quick check of technical analysis, it is set up for Tesla to go ahead and run up to the upside. But as I just notated, and please, I'm not trying to scare anybody at all. All I'm saying is use extreme caution and use risk management. All it takes is for Elon and them guys to say one kind of crazy, kooky, weird thing, and it'll cause the stock to drop down. So like I said, I would encourage you or encourage me, I can't give you financial advice, to catch the momentum after the earnings are released. After the earnings are released. So the earnings is going to come out today after the market closes. Simply based off of a technical analysis standpoint, is set up to continue to run to the upside, but I don't want anybody to get caught slipping. It's a crazy market right now. It's all kind of stuff going on, so you don't want to get caught slipping. All right, Squill. Yo, what's up, Squill in the house? Big shout out to Squill. Anna James, thank you so much for the follow. Thank y'all. Quick 1K on the likes. That is super dope. So like I said, Tesla, we're looking at the daily chart right here. It is kind of set up from a technical analysis standpoint to continue to go up to the upside. But I would just use extreme caution just because you never know what's going to be said in the earnings. I wouldn't try to play beforehand. At least from what I've learned and the amount of times I've gotten my hand burned, I would wait until the earnings is released after hours. And if the market is showing very bullish in the after hours trading and the pre-market trading tomorrow morning, go ahead and look for entry on some calls, right? Especially because, we got a couple of gaps to fill, like right up here and right up here. So I would just wait for that momentum. I wouldn't even try to play it beforehand. With Tesla earnings affect SPY. According to, GHXST1, I'm guessing that means ghost. That's how you pronounce that. Ghost is asking, would Tesla's earnings affect SPY? And I believe so. They are a part of the S&P 500. So if Tesla has a strong push in any direction, it is going to have an impact on SPY. Not as much as a Nvidia would, but we would see some moments. It will drag and pull SPY, kind of like think about a strong dog, right? You ever see somebody walking their dog and you could kind of tell that the dog is just a little bit stronger than the owner? The owner kind of has it under control, but if that dog was to go crazy in any moment, the owner might struggle a little bit. That's what we might see with Tesla. Follow Anna. Thank you so much. The follow Anna. Thank you so much for the likes. I appreciate you. What's up? Shout out to y'all. So those are my thoughts on Tesla. Any other ticker symbols that we want to take a look at, or if you just joined the live and you want me to go over the play of the day that I did, that I alerted to the community, this is it right here. I called calls on XLE, and we saw that is running up. It is struggling to try to get to yesterday's high. We got about an hour and a half left in the market, so anything's possible. I'm kind of feeling like it might not make it up here, especially if we look at how yesterday behaved. Look how yesterday we had this run up, and then the last 90 minutes of the market being open, it came down. We might see the same thing today. We're in that last 90 minutes of the market being open, so we might just come on back down. Ali White, thank you for the follow. Fernando Lopez, I see you. What's up? What's up? Eduardo Mendoza wants to look at GGB. All right, let's look at GGB. I've never heard of this before. SA. Now we're looking at the 30-minute chart, but let's take a step back and let's look at the daily. It is currently trading at, let's move this over, under $5. So now there's one thing to be said, just to make a note, especially for the new traders, right? My TikTok is mainly for new traders out there, just to help get their footing and help them step by step. Now, if you go to like Fidelity, right, and you were to try to buy this stock or buy shares in this company, because the share price is currently under, look over here, $5 a share, Fidelity would consider this a quote unquote penny stock. Now, there's another definition that most people use, meaning that is the stock under $1. But I give you that heads up because if you were to try to buy this in Fidelity, there's going to give you a strong warning like, hey, are you sure you want to do this? You need to make sure you're exercising, risk management, caution, because this is under $5 and this is low-key considered a penny stock. Now, of course, with penny stocks, we know that there's that potential to make a lot of money with little capital, but we always want to keep that in mind that they can be very volatile. They can drop. Thank you for the follow. Eduardo, not to put anything specific that you're talking about for this company. Are you thinking it's going to drop back down? I'm assuming you're probably thinking we got some upside potential. The first thing my eye kind of sees is a little bit of resistance in this area here. So I'm going to kind of bring this in so we can all see it. Let me move it over. Oops. So up in here, we got somewhat of a resistance zone. Can y'all could kind of see that? Boom. Let me zoom this in. As we can kind of see, this is just a rough little what my eyes are seeing. I usually like to eyeball something first on the charts and then zoom in and kind of make sure it's more right and exact. But I'm kind of seeing that this is kind of a zone of support and resistance. So for me, what I would like to see is it's very choppy. I'm gonna be honest. This is very choppy. But if we're thinking about upside potential, I know it's a long way, but I would like to see upside potential. Like I would be looking to enter if we were getting to the top of this zone, like around 390, I'd be way more confident in upside potential. I think we got to battle through all of this. We've got to battle through all of this stuff that we see here in this 370 to 380 range before we start seeing some momentum to push up. Yo, Carl, thanks for joining. Thank y'all for the likes. We're almost at 2K that fast. Y'all are super dope. Houtmean, thank you for coming through. All right, let's see what we got. So somebody wanted to take a look at this ticker symbol GGB. That is go berry GGB. It is under $5, so it qualifies as technically a penny stock. For me, just kind of quickly eyeballing it, I would like to see it get up to like 390 before it pushes up for like more push to the upside. I feel like there's a lot of fighting that has to happen in here with the stock for it to get up. So Hunter Fulcher, this is traders out there. But like I said, we do have people that chop it up about the penny stocks in the community. Of course, I'm more so of the regular straight up and down options with companies, stuff like that. But I wanted to show y'all, it's probably way far away. Look, yeah, I was telling y'all, look, we were talking about Pepsi. Pepsi said one thing. Look at this right here. Pepsi said one negative thing, even though they beat their earnings this morning, and straight pushed it down. So that's just a reminder, use caution when you're talking about those earnings. Look at, here we go. Beat it. Beat their EPS and beat their revenue. Yep. So people want to talk about AMC. Sorry, it cut off and I didn't hear you. Oh yeah, so Hunter, I was just saying, we're not talking about pairs or Forex trading. We're talking about stocks and options. But we do have people that like to trade Forex in different styles in the community. Yo, Valerie D, thanks for coming through. So the Navo 78 wants to talk about AMC. The interesting thing is we talked about AMC yesterday on the live. AMC wasn't getting much love yesterday, so let's go take a look. I wonder if I still have my AMC chart. Let's go see if we still got the AMC chart. Hunter wants to look at Lucid. All right, let me open up another tab. Sometimes I'll be forgetting. I have to scroll back through on the comments. Do I still got my AMC chart? Looks like I do, but it might be old charting indicators and drawings on here. Hunter wants to take a look at Lucid. Do I have it saved? No, I don't. We'll open up a new chart. You got it, I means. But how's everybody's day going? How are you guys doing on your trading today and your investings? Yo, user 555. Mrs. McKay, thanks for coming through. Switchy, I see you. Wave, I did. Sold a put 109 Tesla this Friday expiration. They're up 5%. Okay. Hunter, I thank you for the follow. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for the follow. Thank you so much, man. That means a lot. I'll be tapping in with everybody that follows. Poor AMC. Okay. So yeah, this is where AMC was at yesterday, right? We were kind of looking at it yesterday. It's still trying to push up. It's still trying to push up in this range. I wish I still had that chart saved. But AMC is trying to push up. It does have a gap to fill, so that looks promising. That's what I'll say. It looks promising. So now when I do my charting and I do my gap fills, of course, I just draw the rectangle, but I always do it with a nice white shade. Let me change this. Give it a nice white shade on the charting. So it looks like it wants to push up to go ahead and close this gap. So if you're thinking to the upside, at least you have one thing that's kind of pulling it back in that direction. And it's interesting because when it comes to gap fills, right, we all kind of know when it comes to gap fills that eventually price wants to gravitate back and fill that gap at some point eventually. But what I've kind of been noticing, at least with my trading and my charting, is that gap fills are also acting initially as an area for price where the stock doesn't want to be. And what made me discover this was I was taking a look at Pfizer, ticker symbol PFE. I was trading it the other day. Pfizer actually closed the gap that was formed all the way back in 2013, so over 10 years ago. And that got my mind thinking about looking at gaps slightly different. So now when I see gaps, I also look at them as an area where price really want to be in. It doesn't even want to operate there, which we could see here with AMC is pushing down. It pushed down for days. days and days. And now we're trying to climb back up to eventually close that gap. Climb back up to eventually close that gap. Brenda Flores says, can we take a look at SoundHound? Let me open up a tab for that. So you're kind of in the queue, Brenda, because we got to take a look at Lucid first for Hunter. I haven't forgot about you, bro. But we also want to take a look at SoundHound. Let me move this here. Let's go take a look at Lucid. Let's get this lined up. Yo, Chris Waters is in the building. Big salute to Chris Waters. What's up, bro? Hunter wanted to take a look at Lucid. And then Brenda wanted to take a look at SoundHound. Ali White, I see you. Thanks for coming through. Let's take a look at SoundHound. So if you guys heard me, just if you've been to the movie theaters in the past 30 days, you've actually gone to the theaters to see a movie, put a 1 in the chat. All right. Looks like we might be getting some choppy activity with the live. The Novel 78 says, I just learned something new today. Thank you. Of course, that's what it's about. Whatever I can do to give value. You know, we come into the live space as a community. We all share ideas with each other. I'm constantly learning new things from people in the chat, telling me to look at new companies, look at new indicators, look at new websites. And so this is the way that I think about it, right? We got the market makers on the other end. They all come together and get in cahoots to try to trick us, to manipulate us, and to trap us so they can take their money from us. So there's no reason why we should be working against each other, right? We should all be learning with each other, because there's players over there that are working with each other to get our money. So if Brenda happens to tell me something, if Hunter happens to tell me something, I'm not looking at it like a hater. I'm not thinking negatively. I'm thinking like, yo, this could help me. Because there's people out there using tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars to get money from us and to trick us. Yep. Chris Waters says we're all here to learn. Yes, indeed. All right. So I didn't see too many 1s in the chat. I guess nobody's been to the theaters. So that's just kind of my gauge on, AMC. Now we'll take a look at Lucid, because I believe Hunter wanted to take a look at it. Always starting off with this daily chart. But if you kind of look at this wedge, right? This wedge that's formed here, we are in this very steep decline. I mean, look at this. This is the daily chart, and look how long in the macro we've been in a decline for Lucid, right? Going all the way back to July of 2023. You guys can't quite see it. I try to fit it as much as I can, right? But going all the way back to July of 2023 in the macro, we've just been in this decline down in this wedge. We've been in this decline down in this wedge. So what you can do is when you see long trends, right, to the upside or the downside like this that fit in a wedge or a broadening formation or a price channel, they're all slightly different, but for the most part, they operate the same way. Then you could kind of see where you might want to take your puts and your calls. So here we are on this wedge that's getting tighter and tighter, and the price is dropping more and more. So what we would want to see is for it to kind of break out this wedge and move to the upside. But until it breaks out the wedge, I'd be hesitant to take any calls. Now, there's only so low the price can go, right? We're getting pretty close to $1 a share. So, it's one of those things where it's so cheap. It's almost like you don't want to throw away money. You don't want to gamble. But if you're patient and you have a few dollars to spend, you could just buy some shares and just sit on them. We got some bullish order blocks up here. But there's two things to risk, right? There's two things for risk when it comes to this wedge. We're at the top of it. As you guys can kind of see, look, we bounce from the bottom of the wedge and then we hit the top. And then we come to about the 50% area and we come back up. And then boom, boom, boom. So we might kind of come back down. That might be a little far. I would say to the 216, 215 area right in here. And then push up. But we're hugging the top of this wedge here. Chris says, damn, Lucid been on that long of a downtrend. Never realized. That's right. And that's one thing I'm always having to remind myself, because I'm a scalper and I scalp on the 30-minute chart. Sometimes I got to remind myself to zoom out and really look at the overall trend of what's going on. Hunter says, I have 5 shares of Lucid. So depending on when you got in, Hunter, hopefully you didn't get in too long ago. Hopefully you got in the, let's see where we at. Hopefully you got in like around mid-February, or maybe you got in mid-January, something like that. But Lucid does have earnings. And so their earnings is in a couple of weeks, a few weeks. They're looking at a negative return on earnings per share and then a little bit of revenue. So yeah. It's just, I definitely wouldn't do options contracts. I'll tell you that. Not from the way Lucid is looking right now. I would probably look to just buy some straight up shares up and down and just hold on to them. Because we do have some order blocks up here. We do got order blocks. So, if you got patience, you can see it run up. Yo, Brian, thanks for coming through. Yo, Hustler destined for greatness. Thank you for the follow, bro. Appreciate that. Appreciate y'all for the likes. We're about to hit 3K that fast. Okay, Brenda, are you still in here? Is Brenda still in here? Do I got to check who's in there? Because I believe Miss Brenda wanted to take a look at SoundHound. Brenda Flores wanted to take a look at SoundHound. I want to make sure I find the right one. Hunter, did I give you enough insight? Did I give you enough value or anything to consider when it comes to Lucid? I don't want to just skate away if I really didn't help you out, man. Britain is in the house. Allie White, thanks for coming through. Thank you for the likes, Allie. All right, SoundHound AI. I think I kind of heard of this not too long ago. We got a gap, though. Ooh, we got a gap to the downside. Brenda, we got a gap to the downside. What is going on here? What caused this gap up? Because it was before the earnings. You guys can't really see it. Let me move this over. All right, so we have this gap. Look over here on the left. We have this gap that happened before their earnings in February. They had a gap up. And like I said, I've been noticing when it comes to gaps, it operates as it's kind of using the gap as a support zone. But we want to use cautions because at any moment, it might want to go down into this gap. It might want to close itself. Yeah, Hunter, if you find where your position is at, I can offer you some more thoughts on it. I had a homegirl that was invested in Plug Power. Unfortunately, she had got in when Plug was like way high. Either $50 or $90 or something like that, if I remember correctly. Plug, she's lost about 92% of the value on those shares. And so because it was a smaller amount of money, I told her, it won't hurt you just to hold on to it. You've pretty much lost 100% of what happened. And so at this stage, you might as well just hold on and see what happens to see if it comes up. But that was only because it wasn't a substantial amount of money that was still remaining on the value of those shares. So what I mean is, let's say you had bought $50,000 worth of shares, and now you're down to $10,000. Well, for the average person, $10,000 is still a good amount of money that you can deploy somewhere else in your life, either investing in another company, paying some bills, adding to savings, whatever the case may be. On the flip side, though, if you bought $1,000 else, but we also know it's not going to change your life, or it's not going to make like your day-to-day easier. So I hope my thought process and my, what I'm trying to say, you're understanding where I'm coming from. Yeah, Hunter's in a tough spot. But we'll navigate it together. Yo, Brant, thanks for coming through. So Miss Brenda wanted to take a look here at SoundHound. The first things that I'm noticing was that back in February, before their earnings, they had some crazy gap up for some reason. I would want to do research to see what caused that gap up. Then they had their earnings that they missed. They missed on the earnings per share and they missed on the revenue. That kind of caused the stock to kind of drop down, but it didn't cause too much damage. It pivoted way back up, and now we're back down to the top of where this gap is at. And remember, I just said that I've noticed that when my trading and charting, the gaps are starting to be places where the price doesn't want to operate. So it's using that gap, the top of that gap, as a support zone. Now, we do have earnings in a couple of weeks, so you want to roll up your sleeves, Miss Brenda, to get a gauge on what you think is happening, especially if you already own shares. But in this very moment, just based off of technical analysis and what I see, I think that if we can break above this little, you see this little line right here, I would be bullish to take either calls or buy shares. Right here. That green line, because you see it kind of matches up with where the price stopped back in February 20th, 2024, which is right where at least the high of today was at. We're kind of dropping down below, but if we can break above this 437, I'd be a lot more bullish, and I would be more confident that we'll see a ride up. Hunter says, I bought it through Robinhood. All right, Hunter, it says my average share price is 252. Oh, Hunter's good. Hunter, you're good, bro. Hunter is good right now. Hunter is sitting good. Shout out to Hunter. Hunter is good right now. He got an average price of 252. You're good. Yeah. You just want to consider then, even this is a good practice for exercising a stop loss. So even though it's only a smaller amount of money, I'm not checking your pockets. I don't know your financial situation, Hunter. But just generally speaking, you just want to set a stop loss for yourself. I would say maybe like, what do we have here in this recent kind of low? Maybe around 230, something like that, 235, maybe in this area, in the mid 230s. That would be my stop loss, just to practice getting out of a trade. But Hunter's really good. He got in at 252. It's at 250 right now. Big shout out. Yeah, yes indeed. Yo, Amina, what's going on? What's up, Amina? We are trading. We're just taking a look at different tickers for the community. We've got one community member who is in Lucid. They were able to get shares at 252 a share. Lucid is currently at 250, so they're setting good. And that's especially when you consider, as we just notated and we pointed out, Lucid has been in a downward trend. This is the daily chart. You see me zooming out. Lucid has been in a downward trend since July of 2023. So it's almost like it's nowhere to go but up from here. So big shout out to Hunter, who got in at 252. Market value is 1248. Yeah. So take a moment, Hunter. Think about where you feel comfortable with, whether you're dealing with $12, $1,200, $12,000, or $12 million, you still want to have a stop loss set in mind. My immediate thoughts are somewhere in the mid 230s range, something like that. If price drops back down there, you might want to think about exiting, but you got to land on a number that you feel confident with and something that fits right for you. All right. Amina wanted to talk about Lucid. That's what we just did. We did talk about Lucid. Yo, Vic Tats, thank you for the follow. Anna James, do you post the options contracts on Discord as you enter and exit? Some do. Just curious. Yes, I do to the best of my abilities. You guys can check it out here. I'm very transparent, even when it's embarrassing, even when I don't want to show anything. I show it all. I start off with my charting, right? I start off with what I'm looking at. I show the chart. I show the contracts that I like, that I'm the most interested in. I show when I entered. I talk about when I get out, and I do a little bit of analysis. I show what I made for the day. I do everything like that. And then I show at the end of each week, I put my trade confirmations so that people know that I'm not just BSing around. Yep. Hunter says, learn from your mistakes. That's the only way to learn. Exactly. And that's the number one thing that I encourage in my Discord community. So when you sign up, this is what you get automatically if you sign up for the community, right? You automatically get 30 days free because I want to give you as much value as possible. And I want to give you a fair shot at determining whether or not the community is for you. So you get 30 days free. And then you automatically get a trading journal and you get a backtesting log that I created automatically sent to you to help you with your trading. Because those are the two number one ways, especially if you're a beginner trader, that's going to help you improve and see more consistent profitability. So you automatically get those things sent to you right away. Then you get access to all of our recorded videos. We have a weekly discussion. You could do one-on-ones with me. And then, as I said, if you've been on this live with me for a long time today, the number one thing that makes me smile is I love to give back to the community. So each month I come up with a challenge And then whoever participates in the challenge, I choose one person and I give them a cash award, a cash giveaway. You guys can see that here. I have a channel called Awards and Giveaways. This is my favorite thing to do, to give back to people who support me. It means a lot because we're in a time right now where finances and economics and all that kind of stuff, it really is impacting people. It really is affecting people's livelihood. So the fact that you would even support me, it means a great deal. So I love to give back. I try to come up with these different challenges, sending money. My goal is to double the amount of money that I gave away from last year for 2024. But yeah, and then it's not just about trading, right? It's about having a good time. We have other channels. We got the chill lobby. We talk about music. We talk about all that kind of stuff. David says, how do I join? Anna, thank you so much for the likes. You can join by checking the link in my bio, if you know what I mean. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But yeah, so to Anna's question, I believe that was Anna that asked that, right? Amina, yo, thank you so much for the follow. I see you. I see you. I think Anna asked about, do I post my exits and entries? Yes, I do. Now, the only time I really won't is if it's a trade that, you know, it's just for me in terms of I'm not super confident in. I try to only post the trades that I'm the most confident in. So there's some trades that, you know, they're just for me. But for the most part, once I alert it, you guys get the full journey with me. Contracts I'm looking at, my charting, my rationale as to why I'm entering the trade. You get it blow by blow. And then each month, each week, I post a confirmation. You guys see how I did and all that kind of stuff. Brenda, thank you so much for the follow. Anna, thank you for all the love. Anna, thank you for the likes. I appreciate that. Big shout out to Anna. Hunter says, would it be a good thing to buy more shares? Ooh, Hunter. Brenda, are you still in here? Because I know we were talking about SoundHound. I'm going to answer your question really quick, Hunter. But just to recap for Miss Brenda Flores, because you just popped in my head again, I would like to see SoundHound get above 437, really above 455 for some real bullish, yeah, because we got a gap. So I would be very, very interested once SoundHound gets above 437. Once it goes past 455, then we're going to run up a bit. We're going to come up. So that's what I would be looking for before really entering a trade. Your first kind of indication, Miss Brenda, is 437. The next one after that would be 455. Again, I have to say I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just saying what I would do. Now back to our homie Hunter. Hunter wants to know, would it be a good idea to buy more shares? I'm really on the fence, Hunter. A, because we're at the top of this wedge, as I was telling us earlier, right? We're at the top of this wedge. And as we hug this wedge, either we need a strong breakout, which is possible because we got some order blocks up here. We need a strong breakout, or we might just kind of come down. We might come down. I think one thing that we can check, though, is to see, are we in a strong support zone from previous time frames? So I just changed it to the weekly time frame. This is the weekly time frame for Lucid. And just look at this crazy. Yeah, see, Lucid is below. So let me kind of bring it over. Lucid is below its IPO, right? Lucid is below its IPO. And we don't really have a defined support zone now, because it's below its IPO. So it's in uncharted territory, no pun intended. It's in uncharted territory, no pun intended. So it does appear to be at a level of support if we kind of look, but it looks like it's kind of breaking below it. So this is on the weekly chart though. So kind of keep that in mind as you're looking at these candlesticks. We see that this was like a little bit of support right here in this area where Hunter entered. We came up and we came back down to the support, and it's kind of struggling now to push up under that support. So for me, Hunter, I would wait. I would look for some more bullish momentum before I buy more shares. I know that might seem a little counterintuitive. You know, you might be thinking, I might as well just, if I'm going to get in now. But we don't know how Lucid what Lucid is trying to do. We don't know what's going on here. Like, what are they going to do for their earnings? For sure. All right, Miss Brenda, are you still in the building? Did I help you out with SoundHound? Did she dip out on us? No, she's still here. Okay, so Miss Brenda, I hope you made a note. At least, you know, you got to come up with your own kind of how you want to get down. But I would like to see some breaks above this range, this green line, 437, even more stronger above like the 4, what is this? like 460, 455, because what we have here for SoundHound, right? This little zone is like the only little zone of support and resistance, if you will, where I'm kind of circling with my cursor. So if we can see a break above this, then we can possibly see some strong bullish momentum to the upside. That's what I'm thinking about. But you want to exercise caution, right? Because we're getting closer and closer to earnings. And what they may try to do is like try to push it up to get above, get you excited. And then when earnings comes through, they say something crazy and drop it back down. So be on your toes, Miss Brenda. Be on your toes. Have your risk management in place. Know your stop losses. Don't hesitate. Yo, Hunter, thank you. Nebu, thank you for the live. Oh, snap. Y'all done got us up to over 4,000 likes. Oh, snap. Okay. Over 4K on the likes. Y'all are so dope. Y'all are so awesome. You guys are super dope and super awesome. Okay, let's see what's going on. Let me kind of scroll through because I think there was another ticker somebody asked about. Marcy Martinez, thank you for the follow if you're still in here. Amina, what's up? Big shout out to you. Okay, Diego, are you still in here, Diego? He wanted to talk about, it looks like Snapchat, Shark, or Cat. Here's the thing about, if you're talking about Cat, in terms of Caterpillar, the company. So, all right, let me back up. I should have told y'all, yo, Johnny, thanks for the follow. Yo, so much love for the likes. Thank you, Hunter. Big shout out to Hunter. All right, this is what I want to say. And you guys, please hear me out and listen to me. The number one reason why I created my community was to encourage people to build sources of passive income. It isn't for trading. Now, the way that I've structured the community is to start off with step one. Learn a high-paying skill, whether that's trading, whether it's software programming, way to get extra money. Take that extra money and put it somewhere where you're going to get passive income. My favorite source of passive income is dividend income, but I know that that's not for everybody. So in the community, we talk about starting your own business, like getting a vending machine or a car wash business or mobile detailing or whatever the case may be, or getting rental real estate, even though real estate is super expensive. The name of the game is learn new skills, earn new money. Now, the reason why I went into that kind of spiel right now is because somebody asked about Caterpillar, and like I just said, dividend income is my favorite source of passive income, and I just added Caterpillar to my long-term portfolio. So I just reminded me to talk about that. Chris Waters says passive. Reminded me to talk about that. Chris Waters says passive. A 2 in the chat. A 2 in the chat. So drop a drop a 1 if you want to hear the long-term investing as well, or drop a 2 if we only want to talk about the trading side for trading Caterpillar. Yo, Morgan Lee, thank you for the follow. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, we got to 6K on the likes. Johnny, thank you so much for the likes. Thank you. Chris Water says you keep pausing, connection is off. Dang it. All right, man. It might be a sign, but I don't know if you guys heard, if you heard anything, but I was saying we were talking about Caterpillar. I was talking about the reason why I created Passive Income University, and it's basically because I want to encourage people to build assets and build passive income. Somebody asked to look at Caterpillar. I just added Caterpillar to my long-term portfolio and my dividend portfolio, which we can see here. added Caterpillar, ADP, Costco, Microsoft, and Visa. So I'm starting my long-term portfolio over. I'm starting it from zero, just showing people how quickly and how fast you can build up a dividend portfolio. Yo, Steven and Loretta, good to see the both of you. Might be on his end. No, it could be me because I'm getting the little pause notification too from TikTok. Yo, Anna James, thank you for the rose. Yo, much love and shout out to Anna. Anna, I hope to see you come through and kick it with us for a little bit in the community in Passive Income University. Anna, thank you so much. I appreciate you. World of One's Own, thank you for the follow. I feel like one of those like people are like, when you show your parents your phone and they gotta like squint and do the glasses. That's how I feel right now. Hunter, thank you for the likes, my guy. Hunter, I hope to tap in with you too. I hope that we really get tapped in together. Big shout out to Anna. Big shout out to Anna. So much. Appreciate you. Okay. All right, but like I was saying, I know it's probably cutting out, so I'm going to repeat it one more time. I don't want to bore y'all, but I'll repeat it one more time. So the reason why I created my Discord community, it's called Passive Income University, is because I want to encourage people to learn new skills, get new money, take that new money, that extra money, and deploy it somewhere that'll pay you passive income. Because the name of the game is, right, time freedom. As long as you have freedom of time, then you really have wealth, right? And that's what we want to get to. So for me, my favorite source of passive income is dividend stocks, but I know not everybody rocks with dividend stocks. So in the community, we talk about how to get into real estate investing. I have real estate agents that come and we do webinars, we answer questions, we talk about grants that you can get in different states that can help you. Or if real estate isn't your thing and you don't like the stock market, you don't like dividend income, we talk about how you can start your own business. That you have something that'll support you, that'll help you, that'll be there for you in the future. Because as we can see in these current economic times, the people at the top are not playing fair. So we got to help each other right now at the beginning in today's time so that we don't get caught up and get washed away in the wave. All right, IDK says, what's your thoughts on Tesla? Will it go down? Hunter says, just trying to pay you for the knowledge. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. So I don't want to forget because somebody did want to take a look at Caterpillar, but all I was saying was I just added Caterpillar, that's ticker symbol Charlie, Adam, Teddy. I just added Caterpillars to my long-term portfolio. We did already talk about Tesla IDK. I was cautioning and advising extreme caution because we have earnings today. Now, even with all the negative news coming out with Tesla, right? The recalls and the pricing structure, they got how they price the full self-driving at $99 a month versus people that are already paying, that had already paid for the full self-driving at $10,000, things of that nature. You just want to exercise extreme caution. Now, only looking at the technical analysis standpoint when it comes to Tesla, we can see we're in this little bit of bounce on the daily chart. So from a technical analysis standpoint, yeah, I would be inclined to being very bullish with Tesla. I would be looking to, as a matter of fact, I would rather just buy shares as opposed to playing options. Unless you get a far out option like a leap for Tesla or something that's going to be expiring towards the end of the year, I would feel a little bit more comfortable getting shares than options. That's my opinion. But with this earnings coming up and seeing how they played dirty with the Netflix earnings and they played dirty with the Pepsi earnings, I would try to avoid that. Like I said, the number one thing to do, the dominant factor, the dominant catalyst right now is going to be earnings in less than an hour. The dominant factor is going to be earnings. And so like I said a few times before, if you're just joining the live, what I've learned after burning my hand so many times is just catch the momentum. So when Tesla reports their earnings today, if you see strong bullish sentiment and momentum in the after hours trading, ride that momentum tomorrow. If you see strong bearish momentum, strong bearish sentiment after the earnings are released, and if the market is acting or reacting negatively, then ride that downside momentum. That's what I would do. But I can only just offer you my best thoughts, my best thinking. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you what to do. I can only show you what I've literally just experienced this past week. And I've said it a few times in this live, what happened with me in Netflix and Pepsi. Yo, Ethan, thank you for the follow. Ryan says he's 120K deep on Tesla puts. 120K Tesla puts. Big shout out to Ryan. Ryan, are you in Wall Street Bets? Should I go to Ryan? What's your Reddit username? I'm gonna go check you out on Wall Street Bets, Ryan. With one DTE puts. All right, the Navo 78 says, "What about Snapchat or Ford?" Jason Hicks says, "Are puts the move right now?" We're somewhat of a bounce. We're in a bounce. We kind of saw that across the market. Well, at least with energy, right? Energy kind of shot up today. Like I said earlier, look, if you're on the live at the beginning, I said we were going to struggle to get towards this top area, the yesterday high. And pretty much, I think today, we got less than an hour, is going to behave like yesterday. We got to this high, the last 90 minutes of the market being open, we dropped down, we got up to our high, and it looks like this last 90 minutes of the market being open, we're going to kind of flatten out and drop down. But let's take a quick look at SPY. SPY's kind of consolidating and flattening out. Look, we kind of ran up. Okay, Jason Hicks, overnight puts in this mug. Ryan says, I don't got Reddit. Ryan, I know you in Wall Street Bets. You need to be in Wall Street Bets, Ryan. 120K on Tesla puts. Ryan says, if you look, Tesla is so bearish, it's not even funny. Right. They probably trying to think to try to shake everybody, right? The bearish sentiments. Yes. Or like I'm saying, right? The technical analysis, at least from the way I see it, is to maybe trick people to think, oh, we're going to bounce up. They're going to report something good on the earnings and we're going to shoot up. There might be people buying. Let's take a look right now. Let's go ask one of the bots. And that's the other thing, too. If you join the community, we got bots that you can interact with and ask questions. So let's just look at the options activity. Let's give it a moment. And let's do options activity. Let's just take a look at what the people are doing right now on Tesla. Let's see what the bot says. All right. So let's bring this down a bit. All right, let's move me out the way. All right, so for those that are expiring on Friday, we've got more put volume. And we've got more put premiums on Tesla. And then the same thing for next week's expiring May 3rd, right? We've got more put volume and we've got way more put premiums going on. So it's looking very, very bearish. But I don't know, man. See, they got me shook. I got PTSD. I'm shook right now. So it might be looking a certain way and Elon may say something crazy like, Tesla cars could now drive in the water or something wild like that. Then what? Stock's gonna go crazy. Ryan says, if you look at Tesla on Bookmaps, it's heavy on short volume with the daily. Once we see Tesla break 144. Let's go back to this chart. I don't have Bookmaps. I gotta get it. I gotta get Bookmaps. Yeah. I'm very curious. Ryan's got to tap in with us on the 120K on the Tesla. Wait, Ryan, wait. Are these you in here? Ryan, are you in here? Are you in this put volume in here, Ryan? Yo, Jesse, thanks for coming through. Check out Tesla on the 5 minute. First off, Ryan, before we get there, this is you in these put premiums up here? This is Ryan in here? All right, let's go check out the 5 minute on Tesla. All right, here we got the 5 minute. Looks like it's kind of starting to drop down. But it looks like it's kind of struggling with the yesterday's high throughout the whole day, right? So we're looking at Tesla's 5 minute chart. This top white line symbolizes yesterday's high. And for the most part, Tesla has been respecting that as a level of support all day. So if I'm understanding what Ryan is saying correctly, he's saying that if we break below this high, if we come down below, we should see some drop down. And I would be inclined to agree with that because even over here earlier in the day, we never really broke below it. So if we broke below the high, I could see that drop because look there wasn't anything stopping this bullish candle. So I could see a drop on that. All right, Ryan, Shan has a question. What is Bookmaps? And if I understand correctly, if I've seen it on YouTube, there's a guy by the name of Options Trading Millionaire. He uses Bookmaps. It's a way to visualize and show like what liquidity and where orders are at. But Ryan, let me know if I'm wrong there. Yo, Metal Rhymes, thank you so much for the follow. Anna James, I see you so much. Thank you, Anna. Appreciate you. Bookmaps is a visual indicator used to visualize liquidity and volume. Yeah, just what I was thinking. So, and another thing about me, guys, is I am not a gatekeeper. Like I said before, it's all about us sharing information with each other so we can help each other out, because the powers that be are trying to manipulate us, right? They want to manipulate us to get our money and take from us. So if you want to learn more about Bookmaps, I'm pretty sure Ryan has some suggestions, but there's a person that uses Bookmaps all the time, and here is his YouTube channel. So if you want to get an idea about Bookmaps, go check out Options Millionaire. He goes live, I think, on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Yes, you can see here he was just live yesterday. So he goes live on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and he uses Bookmaps a lot. So you can get more information there about it. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not a gatekeeper. No reason to gatekeep abundance. About with volatility on SoundHound. All right, so everybody, we gotta tap in and keep up with Ryan. He's got 120 bands on Tesla puts. I'm hoping that 120 bands turns into like 10 million tomorrow morning for Ryan. General rule of thumb from other traders that are more seasoned from me, that are like mentors to me, they say at a minimum you want to look for a week out expiration. But I've had people kind of like give me feedback and kind of criticize me because I'm a scalper. I get in and out of my trades within 30 minutes. That would mean I should just do 0 DTE. But at the same time, like I said, I don't really have the stomach for it. And there's other things that I like to look for in my contracts, like the Greeks, the Delta, the Theta, things of that nature. And so for me, even though I scalp, I'm in and out of my trades in less than an hour. I just like to have that peace of mind that my contracts don't expire until a week out. Alex of Mind Your Growth also does Bookmaps daily. He is on TikTok daily, 11 a.m. till noon. Thank you, Jeff. Look at that. We're sharing resources. We're sharing people. No gatekeeping. Okay, Cam Brown, I haven't forgot about you, bro. Let's go take a look at Exxon. But I can kind of tell you, Exxon did the same thing that XLE did, right? So here's the energy ETF. And this was the play of the day that I told my community. I said, get calls on XLE right in this area, right after this bullish hammer formed. We bounced off the 50% for yesterday, and we had a gap to fill to the upside. So those are all pushes in my direction that we were going to gravitate here. And so we caught this trade right here with this bullish momentum, this bullish ride up. So without me even looking at it, I could go take a look at Exxon, and I'm pretty sure it probably did something similar. Let's go see Exxon. I know CVX Chevron did. Why is that Bank of America? I don't know why. That's crazy. So Ethan, I hope I helped you. So Ethan, if you're still on right now, what type of trading do you do? Are you a scalper? Are you a day trader? Do you swing trade? Because if you swing trade, right, if you're holding contracts for a couple of days or a few days, then you definitely want them to be like 3 weeks out, a month out for expiration. That way you're giving yourself some space on that theta. Christian V, thanks for coming through. Yeah, so Ethan, if you're still on, just let me know, bro. What kind of trader are you? Do you do scalping? Do you do day trading? Do you do swing trading? Because if you're doing swing trading, then, you know, I would be inclined to think about contracts that expire 3 weeks, 4 weeks out. All right, so here we're looking at ExxonMobil. This is the 30-minute chart. And just like XLE, look, it almost looks almost exactly the same. It's a little bit more wickish, but we had that bullish hammer, and then we came and pulled on up. And it struggled, right? It really struggled to get to the high of yesterday. So now we want to kind of look at the daily chart, see what we're looking at. So we're coming out of a previous support zone that I charted for Exxon. And yeah, I'm seeing slightly more bullish activity, slightly more bullish. Here's this little daily whip whap that we had right here at the bottom of the support zone, and then we pushed up. Looks like we're finally breaking out of it. So we might want to retest this area, this orange shaded area that I have charted. So I would wait for the retest and then catch some calls to the upside. That's how I would look at that. Yep. Yeah, we came up, had this crazy run up on energy and Exxon, went back down. I look at like moments like these, like just going to get some gas, right? Going to get some more energy, no pun intended, and then kind of pushing back up to the upside. So I will make sure you have defined what your entry wants to be. All right, Ryan says, I took all my profits from futures trading today and placed it in Tesla puts. That dude, Ryan, is that dude right there. He's built different. Ryan is built different right there. For sure, Cam. Yep. Hopefully that gave you a little bit of value. Indeed. Yo, Mariah, thanks for coming through. Eduardo, I see you. What's up? Nick B, thanks for coming through. Thank you all for rocking with me today. We almost got 8,000 likes, which is just I hope to tap in with you, bro. I'm gonna sign off right now, you guys. Thank everybody for the love. Miss Brenda, Anna, Ryan, Hunter, Ethan, everybody that came through. I appreciate it. Ryan, thank you for the follow. I'm gonna tap back in with you, bro. Thank you so much. I'll see y'all tomorrow on the live. You guys check me out. Yo, GUS or Gus, thank you for the follow, sis. I see you. Thank you, Ali White. Thank you for the likes. But all right, big salute to everybody. I appreciate you rocking with me. I'll see you tomorrow. Come check out my Discord.